A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining the program. You're watching KUTV Weekend Live on the 16th day of August, the year 2026. We have so much in store for you, but first let's get an introduction.
This is Weekend Live with Ochieng, Cynthia.
Now, this broadcast is also live across all of our social media platforms. On YouTube, it's KUTV News Kenya. On X, it's KUTV_Kenya. My name is Ochieng, Cynthia. Let's get started. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has accused President William Ruto of using leaders from the Mount Kenya region to undermine the community, particularly the youth. Gachagua cited Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki as one of those allegedly being used by President Ruto. Speaking earlier today when he attended a service at PCA Gatundu Church in Kiambu County, the DCP party leader also urged Ruto to stop involving retired President Uhuru Kenyatta in his politics.
Continuing his attacks against President William Ruto, former Deputy President and DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua criticized President William Ruto, saying that President Ruto is the sponsor of gangs of hooligans who continue to harass Kenyans. This comes a day after his convoy was attacked in the Salga area of Nakuru County.
Wamama walikuwa huko na watoto wamewaumiza na wamechoma hiyo hoteli. Na rais ndio mwenye kupanga. Alafu ametoroka, ameenda Dubai. Hapo tumefika Nakuru Town West, amepanga na hii mjumbe anaitwa Arama na Susan Kihika. Rigiji wakija hapa wapigwe. Magari yetu imeharibiwa. So sisi tuko na bahati mbaya. Sijui Mungu tulikukosea wapi. Ya kwamba tulichagua rais ambaye ndio anapanga vita kwa nchi yake.
Sisi tukiwa tumesimama kwa kanisa, tungetaka kukemea gunism. Tuambie Mheshimiwa William Ruto, kama umeshindwa kukarabati nchi, sio lazima ungoje 2027.
Meanwhile, Gachagua responded to Kindiki by saying that he has no relationship whatsoever with Kindiki, accusing him of being used by President Ruto to undermine the Mount Kenya community.
Wewe professor, huwezi kuwa ndugu yangu kwa sababu I don't think you mean well for us. Wewe Kindiki mlishikana na Ruto kulete pombe kuua watu wetu. How then do you say I'm your brother? How can I be your brother when my other brothers, you are killing them?
The DCP leader also urged President Ruto to stop mentioning retired President Uhuru Kenyatta in his political affairs, insisting that the retired president is not involved in the turmoil facing the country or his administration in general.
Nasikia unasema ati Uhuru ati sponsoring us, ati anatupatia pesa ya kufukuza wewe. Sisi hatuhitaji pesa. Wananchi ndio wanafukuza wewe. Kuna pesa nyingi mnatakiwa kupewa kufukuza Ruto? We don't need money. Sisi pesa yetu ni kidogo ya mafuta na mawe ya microphone na askari wachache ya kutulinda. We don't need money. Wewe ndio unahitaji pesa kwa sababu lazima uwaoge watu wakuje mkutano yako. So Uhuru Kenyatta is not sponsoring us. We don't need any sponsorship.
As each side seeks greater support from the Mount Kenya region, it remains to be seen whether these efforts are what is fueling the hostility between Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki and his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
And Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has criticized the broad-based government leaders, accusing them of allegedly influencing goons who disrupted the Linda Mwananchi rally in Homa Bay and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's rally in Nakuru. Speaking during a church service at the Redeemed Gospel Church in Kidhimani Township, Musyoka also accused President William Ruto of failing to fulfill his promise to curb political goonism in the country.
As political goonism continues to feature prominently in Kenya's political landscape, Wiper Party leader Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka didn't mince his words by directly accusing some of the key broad-based government leaders allegedly sponsoring goons to disrupt opposition rallies. Speaking during a church service at the Redeemed Gospel Church in Kidhimani Township, Musyoka linked the disruptions witnessed during the Linda Mwananchi rally in Homa Bay and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's rally in Nakuru to political interference.
Heavily, wanahabari makamera zao wameharibiwa tukiwa hapa leo. Zimeharibiwa. Hawa sio magoon, hawa ni militias. Na ambaye anahusika mamlaka ambayo amekabidhiwa na rais ambaye yuko kwa mamlakani sasa hivi anaitwa PS Omolo.
Kalonzo also accused President William Ruto of failing to fulfill his promise on curbing the issue of goons.
That the person bearing the highest responsibility for security in the land is none other than the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto. He's a person bearing that highest responsibility. Na akumbuke alinifanyisha kazi kubwa sana mimi kwenda kuwatetea huko.
Kalonzo further blamed President William Ruto for abusing the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, telling him to give the former head of state the respect he deserves.
Mimi mwenyewe nimesema hivi Ruto unashambulia Uhuru kwa sababu ni chair wa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition. Nimemshauri aondoke hiyo nafasi so that you don't throw mud unnecessarily at Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta ana sifa dunia nzima. Wewe bwana Ruto sifa yako ni hafifu kidogo.
On the other hand, DP party leader Justin Muturi has condemned the attack on the Linda Mwananchi team in Homa Bay and the assault on journalists, warning that political violence could set a dangerous precedent ahead of the 2027 general polls.
Tunapoongea hata wanahabari wale wameenda kukava ile mkutano ilikuwa na wale ndugu zetu wa Linda Mwananchi kule Homa Bay, wamepigwa vibaya sana. Hata wanahabari unashindwa. Asubuhi nilikuwa naona barabara asubuhi saa moja zote ilikuwa imewekwa mawe kubwa boulders ati wasiingie. Unashindwa kwani? Surely. Ndio sababu nikasema lazima ni shukuru wenyeji wa kaunti ya Murang'a kwa sababu nikija hapa sikupata mawe, nimepungukiwa kwa barabara nisikuje.
The political temperature continues to rise ahead of the 2027 general election, with leaders calling for freedom of political expression and an end to violence and intimidation in political campaigns. Vincent Karoli, KUTV.
As the countdown to 2027 general election begins, political divisions are deepening across the Mount Kenya region, with the leaders increasingly split along ideological and regional lines. Amid growing tensions between the eastern and western blocs, calls for unity are gaining momentum as leaders seek to prevent political polarization from dividing residents.
Several leaders, with the latest being Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji, have urged for unity among the region's residents.
Na niseme kinagaubaga, wale watu wanaleta siasa ya kugawanyisha watu yetu, kufanya kukue na watu ya Kikuyu, sijui na watu ya Embu na wapi. Hiyo ni watu tutadili na wao categorically. Na niko na instructions kwa watu yetu kwamba hawataruhusu mtu yoyote ambaye anaweza leta mgawanyiko kwa wananchi wetu.
The Member of Parliament underscored the importance of the region's collective heritage and cultural ties, advocating for these elements to serve as a unifying force among the residents. Many individuals express concerns that any disunity within the region could significantly disrupt the cohesion that has historically characterized the area.
Na tutakuwa tunapigana hiyo vita tukiwa pamoja, kwa sababu mtu yote analeta mgawanyiko ni mtu ambaye anachukia sisi. Ukisema nichukie Mkikuyu, kwa sababu mimi ni Mwembu. Ile kitu unaleta kubwa sana ni kidonda ya roho yenye hata watoto wa watoto wetu wataanza kukua wanaona watu wengine differently.
As the political landscape becomes increasingly polarized, numerous divergent opinions are shaping the ongoing discourse. It remains to be seen whether the strategies employed by these leaders to foster a sense of togetherness will be effective in bridging the gaps between opposition factions, or if the growing tensions and disparities among voters will lead to an even more fragmented political climate as the critical day approaches. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
A family in Ngoto Village, Buruma Sub-County, Kisii County, is seeking urgent assistance to repatriate the body of the 26-year-old son, Stephen Nyangua Sereti, who died in Dubai under unclear circumstances. The family says they were notified of his death by the Kenyan embassy in Dubai and informed that they have only few days to collect his body before the burial. Stephen had traveled to Dubai 4 months ago in search of employment. The family is now appealing to the government, leaders and well-wishers to help them bring him home and give him a dignified burial.
We are appealing for the support from the government of Kenya. We thank Mheshimiwa Acholi Ochieng for the partial support that you have offered to the family of the late Stephen.
Kampuni ambayo huyu mtoto alikuwa anafanya huko ikasema haitaki kuleta mwili kutoka huko ilete nyumbani. Sasa tukashindwa la kufanya.
Nikapata ujumbe ati ameaga. Nilisikitika sana. Nikashindwa la kufanya.
In other news, Garissa Township Member of Parliament Deko Mohammed has criticized former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over his continued criticism of the country's security agencies, accusing him of politicizing security matters and undermining institutions mandated by the Constitution to protect the country. Speaking in Garissa Town, Deko urged politicians to allow security agencies to carry out their duties without threats or political interference.
Township MP Deko Mohammed has criticized former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over his continued criticism of the country's security agencies, accusing him of politicizing security matters and undermining constitutionally mandated institutions. Speaking in Garissa Town, Deko urged politicians to allow security agencies to carry out their duties without threat or political interference.
Now we want to warn and talk to him as leaders of this region. Politicizing security agencies, constitutional officers that have mandates to carry out their functions every now and then, and demeaning them, and talking about them every other time, because some of them is doing it because of his tribal thinking, that why are some of these organizations run by certain different communities, other than the one is used to getting for.
According to Deko, the significant development and progress witnessed in the northern region have been achieved through cooperation with the national government led by President William Ruto. He insisted that these developments are a sign that the government continues to fulfill its responsibilities.
Hiyo mjamaa yote anaitwa Rigiji, siku hizi nasikia anaitwa Rigigun. Anasema sisi kama viongozi wa kutoka hii region, we do not develop our areas. Hii terminal imejengwa na governor. Aione na nitamtumania, niko na namba yake, nitamtumania. So aone hii terminal iko hapa imejengwa na county government of Garissa. Hii runway imejengwa na national government. Sio yeye ameenda kutuombea.
Deko has challenged Gachagua and other politicians to respect the independence of security agencies and allow them to investigate crime, uphold the law and maintain peace and order without political pressure.
We will not shy away from, as leaders of this region, to talk about what good the president has done for this region. Politics is about interest. If your interest and your priority is to remove William Samoei Ruto because uliimpeachiwa, sisi our interest is different. Our interest of this region is that development comes to this region. And whoever has brought that opportunity to us is the person we will deal with as a region.
As political tensions continues to rise, calls are growing for security agencies to remain professional and impartial, guided by the law, while the political leaders seek transparency and accountability through constitutional challenge rather than public confrontations. Yvonne Shirisha, KUTV.
Now, we're taking a very short commercial break. We'll be back with more stories. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Ochieng James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
they find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
inclusive setups,
by providing the right facilities. Conversations on matters health are important for you. From the nitty-gritties of what it takes to take care of yourself on a daily basis to the policies that affect your well-being at a national level, we have all these conversations on one show.
In terms of the nose, we deal with the allergies, we deal with sinuses, and even nose bleeding. Simple things and also big things as well.
Make our homes safe spaces where children are able to talk, feel validated without being judged, because the young people want to be heard.
Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., join me, Yvonne Kemuma, on Focus on Health to keep you abreast of these conversations right here on KUTV.
You are watching Weekend Live with Ochieng Cynthia.
Welcome back. Now, Muslim leaders under the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslim SUPKEM have supported the government's national conversation on Kenya Beyond Vision 2030, saying the debate provides Kenya with an opportunity to develop a long-term development agenda that focuses on the country's interest rather than short-term political interests.
Speaking to journalists in Mombasa, Muslim leaders under the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslim SUPKEM have supported the national conversation on the Beyond 2030 vision.
Muslims will engage in this process at every level, both as individuals and as organized groups, recognizing that the struggle for a fairer Kenya requires collective effort. Muslim institutions will deploy their energies solely in the strategic coalitions with partners across both religious networks and civil society organizations. We are fully ready to work with all progressive forces to ensure this initiative succeeds.
However, The leaders have warned political leaders against hijacking the process for political and electoral gains, urging Kenyans to take ownership of the debate and freely determine the country's development priorities towards its centenary and beyond.
We urge our leaders to forge together in unity and resist the temptations to politicize this process. The Beyond 2030 initiative must not be treated as a political playground or a tool for electoral competition. Because the President has stated this initiative must be citizen-owned, we officially call upon all Muslim organizations, professional bodies, youth councils, women chambers, and regional structures to develop their own localized charters.
SUPKEM said the framework should also address what it described as long-standing marginalization and inequality affecting Muslim communities, particularly in access to government resources, citizenship, documentation, and development in various regions.
2030 vision is very important katika kuhifadhi haki za watu za kimali, haki za watu katika uchumi, haki za watu katika vizazi, haki za watu katika watoto, haki za watu katika wanawake na kila sekta ambayo kwamba lazima tujaribu kuizungumza kwa kina.
On economic empowerment, SUPKEM has called for policies to protect small-scale traders and workers in the informal sector.
Meanwhile, Kenya has hosted the launch and testing of the world's first solar-powered ambulance, Stella Juva, developed by 23 students from Eindhoven University of Technology in Netherlands. The innovation aims to improve emergency healthcare services in remote and underserved areas.
The world's first solar-powered ambulance, Stella Juva, has been launched and tested in Kenya at Amref International University. Speaking during the launch, designer Steven said the project began in 2025 after the student chose to address a real-life challenge facing communities. The team of 23 students worked for almost an year, collaborating with health organizations to understand the healthcare needs of people living in remote areas.
We started this project in September in 2025, so last year, with the challenge to build a vehicle powered by the sun. We've built cars in the past with previous teams, but this year we wanted to do it differently. We wanted to try to solve a societal problem. That's why we started talking to some NGOs, one of them being Amref Health Africa, which led us to the insight that remote areas really struggle sometimes to provide healthcare to those who need it most.
Stella Juva can travel up to 750 kilometers with about 550 kilometers powered by its battery and additional 200 kilometers supported by solar energy. The ambulance can also generate electricity to power medical equipment, enabling health workers to provide essential services in areas with limited access to electricity.
We are health-based, and our core is ensuring that our populations get the best health. We are hoping that this innovation can be adopted by other institutions and manufacturers so that we can be able to benefit the African continent, but more so the Kenyans in our country.
According to Principal Secretary for Energy Alex Washira, Kenya's abundant sunlight puts the country in a strong position to develop and test solar-powered transport technologies.
This innovation, knowing too well the skyrocketing prices of petroleum products, with the solar PV, then you're able to lower the costs. Then you're also able to cushion Kenyans against the volatility and the supply shocks that do come along with the petroleum products. So these are very good innovation. It is going to help Kenya, and not only Kenya, but sub-Saharan Africa, that is has a huge challenge in power connectivity.
The innovation offers a new approach to delivering emergency health care, with its developers hoping the technology will help bridge gap in access to medical services and ensure remote communities receive receive timely care without the high fuel costs associated with conventional ambulances. Yvonne Shirisha, KUTV.
The Green Army Gor Mahia have lifted the Green League Cup after defeating Migori Youth FC in a thrilling encounter at Nyayo Stadium. Migori Youth FC made a strong start, scoring 2 quick goals early in the first half. However, Gor Mahia responded before the break, pulling 1 goal back and keeping their hopes alive. Shortly after the second half whistle, Gor Mahia found the equalizer, bringing the match level. Neither side could find a winning goal during regulation time, forcing the contest into a penalty shootout. Gor Mahia held their nerve, winning on penalties to claim the Green League trophy. And the Women's Africa Cup of Nations comes to a thrilling end as Malawi faces Cameroon in what promises to be an exciting final. The match will be played in Rabat, Morocco at exactly 10 p.m. Malawi will be hoping to secure the first ever WAFCON title after reaching the final by defeating Algeria 3-1. Cameroon, meanwhile, booked their place in the final after eliminating host Morocco on penalties. Both teams, regarded as tournament underdogs, will be looking to defy expectations and lift the trophy.
Simply, I think let the best team win tomorrow. That's simply the answer that I can give you, because even us, it's our first time to reach finals. We also want to win. So tomorrow's game, I think,
is to participate in the World Cup and also to reach the final. Not only to reach the final, but to take the cup. So I think the first celebration has already been done, and we are waiting for another big celebration, which we'll do tomorrow.
Well, many thanks to you who tuned in to get informed on the latest development across the country and beyond. Many thanks to everyone that made this bulletin a success. Do stay tuned to catch up with all my events tomorrow later at 9 p.m. and our subsequent bulletins and broadcasting. Happy viewership and have a lovely night.